back with one of your grammar classes. Today I shall be discussing prepositions. This is chapter 2. There's already chapter 1 uploaded on my channel. You can go there and see. I've discussed some rules and all the other errors there. Today I shall be discussing a few of these sentences and the errors that you make. So without wasting much time, let's get started. As you can see, I have written a number of sentences here for you to understand the difference in meaning. First of all, I lived in Kolkata 10 years ago. So here we are speaking of a sense of before. We are speaking of a sense of before. 10 years ago means 10 years before. So here you have a preposition which speaks of a point of time 10 years ago. Moving on to the next one. I have been living in Kolkata from this to this. That is from 2001 to 2020. Now, if you are given a point of time and an ending point of time, then you have to write two prepositions. One is before the starting point of time, which is 2001. Before that, I have written from. Before the ending point of time, that is 2020. Before that, I write to. That means from ... to. From will constitute the first point of time and to will constitute the ending point of time. The starting point of time, before that you will write from, and before the ending point of time you will write to. So it will become like this: from 2001 to 2020. That means from this point of time I started living in Kolkata. This is the point of time up to which I stayed in Kolkata. So that means from this point to this point. So before the starting point I write from, before the ending point I write to. Clear? Now moving to the next sentence. I have been living in Kolkata for 20 years. For 20 years. What does for stand for here? Period of time. How many years? How many years? It is mentioned 20 years. This is the period calculated. Now I will explain it with reference to this one. Wait a minute. So I have been living in Kolkata for 20 years. So here I am calculating the period of time. As it is mentioned, period of time. I am calculating that period of time. How many years? 20 years. I have calculated 1, 2, 3, 4. Moving to the last sentence. I have been living in Kolkata since 2001. Since 2001. So our preposition here is since. Here it is point of time. Now what it is said here, if you go back to this sentence here, the person started living from 2001 up to 2020. That means for 20 years. When I calculate the period of time, that how many years the person lived in Kolkata, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 I calculate and make the sum of 20. Okay, I am not saying the starting point, I am not saying the ending point. If I say the starting and the ending point, then it will be like this: from starting point to ending point. But if I am saying, or if I am calculating only the time period, how many years I have stayed in Kolkata, if I am calculating only that much, then I will write for. Clear? If I am speaking of the point of time from when I started living in Kolkata, if I am speaking of the point of time from which I started living in Kolkata, then it will be since. So this means if we are speaking of any period of time, it will be what? It will be for. Okay, for this many years. I have been doing this work for 2 hours. You are calculating the time. 2 hours I have taken. So that period of time is being spoken of. But if you say, I have been doing this work from 6 p.m. or since 6 p.m. So this is the point of time from which you started doing the work. So before the point of time, it will be since or from, and for the period of time, it will be for. If both the starting and the ending point are given, then you will write from and to. And for the sense of before, you will write ago. Now, we come to the next set of sentences. Here again, we are talking with reference to time. Let's see. Here we will return within a week. Here we will return within a week. What does it mean? It means within a month. So before month end, that means within a month, before the 30 or the 31st of the month is over, she will return. So Hia will return within a month. That means before the month is over. Next, Hia will return before the 10th of May. Before the 10th of May. What does it mean? Before that date. Before this date of the 10th of May. Before this date of 10th of May, she is going to return. So, Hia will return before the 10th of May. Before the 10th of May is over, she is going to return. Understood? Next, Hia will return in a week. Hia will return in a week. In is the preposition. What does it mean? At the end of a week. That means when the week ends, like Saturday or Sunday, then she will come. But not after that. She will come on the Saturday or Sunday. In a week means that. Okay. So when the week ends, she is going to come. So Hia will return in a week. It means. Hia will return. Next one is by Thursday. By which day? By Thursday. Preposition used is by. Before, not later than. Again the same thing. By Thursday means she is going to return Tuesday, Wednesday, but not after Thursday. So before Thursday, she is going to come, not after that. Last one. Hia will return after a week. Very easy. After a week means after the week is over, not before that. That means the week will be over. After that she will return, not before that. Understood? So these are the ways in which we use these different prepositions in terms of time reference. What is required in the question, you understand, and then write according to it. For that it is very essential to read the question and try to understand the meaning. Accordingly, then you can use any of these prepositions. Now, the next set of rules or mistakes that we often make, let's see. The word here is crawled. Now, crawled, you have three prepositions, three different meanings of them. First one, the baby crawled under the bed. The baby crawled under the bed. Now, what is under the bed? It crawls and it goes under the bed. So, you understand the meaning. It cannot be crawled on the bed. It is walking on its four limbs and it is just crawling. It's crawling like that on the floor. What it does, it goes under the bed. The baby crawled across the floor. Now you will see the difference. Crawled under and crawled across. You will say, how did it come by? It is not because of anything else in the beginning. It is because of something at the end. Notice these two words, the bed and the floor. Now, if it is a bed, you cannot write crawled across the bed. How will the baby crawl across the bed? It is possible to crawl across the floor from this side of the room to that side of the room. It will crawl across from one point to the other. But if it is a bed, it will obviously go under the bed. So here you get the meaning from the end. Nothing is here to guide us. The baby crawled, everything is the same. It's only these two words which are different. That means the object is different. If it is floor, we will write across from this side to that side. If it is a bed where he can go under, so then we will write under. Okay. Now, the other variation, the snake crawled into the hole. Again, here you see the word hole. It cannot crawl under the hole. The hole is on the ground. How can it crawl under the hole? It's not possible. Number two, crawled across the hole. Crawled, of course, you cannot across the hole. What would be the objective? Snakes live in holes. You know that. And the holes are on the ground and it will go inside. And because it is going in motion, that is why, I've already told, whenever it is in motion, anything is in motion into a room, you walked into the room. Similarly, the snake is going inside the hole. So it will be The snake crawled into and not under or across or something like that. Okay, it will not even be in the hole, it will be into the hole, not in, into. Okay, that's over. Now moving on to this too. This again is very commonly mistaken. He is at hospital. He is in hospital. Okay, they're nearly the same. Everything is the same except for these two words. So what? What difference does it make? Let's see. He is at hospital. When you write this at, you are speaking of he as a visitor who has gone to attend or visit some patient. Visit and see some patient in the hospital. That is why he is at hospital. Why is he at hospital? He is not at the hospital for the regular job. The regular job is as a patient to get treated and all. No, he is not at the hospital for that. He is at the hospital for something else. Maybe to talk to the doctor. Maybe to pay the patient's bills. Or to, as we all go, to see the sick patients. So here, he is at hospital means he is a visitor who has gone there to see some near and dear one who is at the hospital. He is not a patient. But if that person is to go to the hospital as a patient, then it would be he is in hospital as a patient. Similarly, you can write it with other variations also, like in the office. Father is at office. To talk to the secretary there. That means he is not there to do the job regularly people do in the office. He is there to talk to the secretary. That is why I have written father is at office. But if I say father is if I say father is in office, then I mean he is in the office regularly. If I say father is at office to talk to the secretary, father is at office to talk to the secretary. That means he is not here to do his job which he usually does in the office. So that's the difference. When you write in, it means the regular thing which a person is doing in that particular place. He is, or if you say the boy is in school, that means he is school to do what? In school to study. But if you write the boy is at his sister's school to pay the fees, that means it is different. At school to pay the fees. So that is the difference between at and in. Okay. So when you write in, you are writing for that particular place with that necessary objective or the primary objective of that place. When you are writing at, it means you are doing something else other than the primary objective of that place. That's the only difference between this at and in. Now, I shall be going over a few words followed by prepositions which are very common and commonly mistaken also. So I'll be going over them. There's a number of sentences which I have written. Let's get started. He refrained from telling a lie. After refrained, you will use from. Now, there are other words also, but here in this case, he refrained from telling a lie. What does it mean? Refrained means stopped or prevented from telling a lie. So refrained from means prevented or stopped from telling a lie. He refrained from telling a lie. That means he did not tell a lie. He stopped from telling a lie. So refrained from means stopped. It's kind of a phrasal verb that is used. So refrained from telling a lie. The people are cautioned against pickpockets. Many students write the mistake right here about cautioned about pickpockets. Do not write that. You are cautioned against. If you travel by any regular bus and all, there is a statement written. There is a kind of a notice which is painted out on the bus's sides that you are cautioned about pickpockets. It's your responsibility to be aware. So you are cautioned against. Why not about? You are against. You do not like pickpockets. You are against pickpockets. You do not want people stealing your purses or wallets. So that's why cautioned against. Right? Next. The path is beset with a lot of troubles. Beset with means filled with. Beset is the same as filled with. That means the path, the road, the village path, forest path, whatever it is beset with, is filled with a lot of troubles. Okay. Next one. Beset by a number of health issues, he resigned. Now he resigned why? Because of. That same meaning is hinted at by beset by. Beset by, and here it was earlier beset with. So you have to understand, see these two prepositions, you have to understand the meaning. Here the path is filled with a lot of difficulties, filled with a lot of thorns, filled with a lot of flowers. So that is filled with. So there you will write beset with. And where will you write beset by? Because of. The reason, because of. Because of what? A number of health issues. That is beset by a number of health issues. He resigned. So why did he resign? Because of a number of issues. So instead of because of, we are writing beset by. Next, the robber is anxious about his means of escape. What is the robber anxious? It's very easy. He's anxious about how will he escape. All the roads are blocked. So how will he escape? So he's anxious about that. How will he escape? She is bent on buying an iPhone. Bent on. This is another phrasal verb. Bent on. What is bent on? Intent on. Totally convinced. Totally made up her mind. I am going to buy an iPhone. So bent on means made up one's mind, determined, as we may say. That is exactly the meaning of bent on. Now I come to the final set of sentences, at least for this video. Let's see the set of sentences and the mistakes that we often make. She insisted on doing it all by herself. Insisted on. It is always insisted on whenever someone is forcefully trying to do something. She insisted on. That is, I want to do this. Insisted on doing it all by herself. I will do the whole thing. This is what she said. So she put force on it. That is why insisted on. Next one. He congratulated her on the release of her new book. He congratulated her on the release of her new book. So when her book was released, on the release. At the release, no. On the release. He congratulated her on the release of her new book. Her new book is released. He congratulated her on. Next one is very easy. Are you prepared for? To be prepared for any emergency, anything. Are you prepared for your ICC exams? Are you prepared for this challenge? Are you prepared for the coming tournament? Like this. So prepare for. You reached the airport in time. You reached the airport in time. What does it mean? Not late. You are not late. You arrived at the time that is necessary so that you can board the plane that you are going to travel. So you reach the airport in time, you have a lot of time in your hand and you did all the formalities that you have to do, and then you boarded the plane. So you reached the airport in time, not late. Next one is the plane took off on time. What is on time? The scheduled time. The scheduled time of the plane. Suppose it is at 15:07. 15:07 p.m. the plane is to leave. The plane left exactly at 15:07. That is the scheduled time of the plane to leave. So the plane took off at on time. That means the plane took off at that exact moment when it is about to or is scheduled to fly. His father is blind to his daughter's faults. His father is blind to his daughter's faults. Now, the father is always partial towards his son or daughter, his child, whatever it is. So here the father is blind to his daughter's faults. So whatever faults the daughter does, the father is kind of blind to it. That means he kind of neglects it. He doesn't regard it as a wrong at all. So he is blind to, mind you. So blind to would be applicable for that which someone is seeing that it is a wrong, but still he or she is not giving much importance to it. Understood? So blind to means you are seeing that it is a wrong, but still you are neglecting it. You are not giving attention to it. You are not protesting against it. Here the father should have punished the girl's wrong, but because the girl is his daughter, he neglects it. He is blind to it. Oh, acha, I do not know. Okay, let it be. It's a minor offense. Let it be. So just like that. That is why in that kind of meaning you write blind to, where that error, that wrong is kind of neglected. Next one is the beggar is blind in his right eye. Now here, blind in his right eye, here it refers to physical infirmity or physical disability. Here is blind in his right eye. Blind in his right eye means his blind right eye is blind. He cannot see by the right eye. So that is why blind in. And that is the difference between blind to and blind in. Okay, blind to means to neglect, to avoid, to kind of disregard, and here blind in means a physical disability. Superstitions still prevail among the tribals. It's very easy. Among the tribals, superstition still prevails among all the tribals. There are a lot of tribals, among them it prevails. Gandhiji was prevailed upon to give up his fast. Gandhiji is something like, you know, he often undertook fast. So Gandhiji was prevailed upon. That is, people kind of forced him. People kind of put the pressure on him. Please, you have to give up the fast. Please, you have to. So they put a lot of pressure on him, and that made him give up the fast. So he was prevailed upon, kind of forced upon by other people from all around. So that is the difference between prevailed among, which is distributed superstition among all the tribals, and here Gandhiji is pressurized by a number of people. They put in the request, they put in the demands to make him give up the fast. Okay, so that completes my chapter 2 of prepositions. I hope you have understood whatever I tried to explain to the best of my abilities. And if you find this interesting, then show your appreciation in the form of likes and share of this video. And of course, subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching. Thanks for your love and support.